Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to episode 27 of our Christmas Carol reviews. We are actually done with all of our reviews, and these are our last two episodes. So if you have not watched all of these and want to catch up on those, please click the link in the description for the introduction and the playlist so you can see those and you can catch the other reviews on my channel. But without further ado, let's get right to this. This is our awards video, and we are going to be giving 7 awards out for Best Cinematography, Best Music, Best Interpretation of Marley, Best Interpretation of the Spirits, Best Interpretation of Scrooge, the Best Child Adaptation, and the Best Dramatic Adaptation. Now, what I did was I took this a lot like the Academy Awards are done. I took our rankings and took the top 5 in all of these categories. Then after that, I thought to myself, which one was most memorable? Which one would actually I go watch just for this point? And from there, I chose our winners. So without further ado, let's get to our Christmas Carol Awards. Yes, I made a cheesy introduction for this because I can. And so, whatever. But first off, our first category is Best Cinematography. Yes. Our best top 5 cinematography, we have A Christmas Carol starring Alastair Sim from 1951. We have Rich Little's Christmas Carol Special from 1978. We have The Christmas Carol starring George C. Scott from 1984. We have A Muppet Christmas Carol from 1992. And then we have The Christmas Carol from 2009 starring Jim Carrey as the Old Miser. And the winner of Best Cinematography for this one is Rich Little's Christmas Special. Yes, I had it down to 2 here. I had between Rich Little and the Muppets, mostly because the Muppets, you have to only show the top half and still make it compelling, and I thought they did a great job on that. But Rich Little, when you have one person playing all the characters, you still have to make it look like they're both in the room talking, having a conversation. Little did a great job with that, so I just had to give it to him. But let's move on to our next category. Our next category is Best Music. Yes, that's right. We have the top 5 music ones, which is 1951's A Christmas Carol starring Alastair Sims, 1970's Scrooge starring Albert Finney, 1992's A Muppet Christmas Carol, 2004's Christmas Carol the Musical, and 2009's Christmas Carol starring Jim Carrey as the Old Miser once again. And the winner for this one is 2004's Christmas Carol the Musical. Yeah, I really had only 3 that were even on the list for this when I was thinking about it. It was 1970's Muppet and 2004's musical. And I had to think about how it was created, how all the lyrics fit in, how it fits in the story, and how they adapted it for all the different characters. And when it came down to it, and I listened to some of the soundtracks, again, 2004 really stuck out in my mind, so that is our winner. And our next category, we have the Best Adaptation of Marley. Now, before we get to the nominees on here, there's one that I had to throw out immediately, but I have to give a shout out to, and that was the interpretation from A Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm sorry, because there were 2 of you, you were automatically disqualified. And I wanted to put it on here, but it can't be that way because it was not just one Marley. But the actual nominees are Michael Hordern, which is the Marley interpretation from the 1951 starring Alastair Sims as Scrooge. We have 1970's Scrooge starring Alec Guinness as Marley. We have Frank Finlay, who played Marley in the 1984 adaptation starring George C. Scott as the Miser. We have Bernard Lord from 1999's adaptation starring Patrick Stewart as Scrooge. And Jason Alexander from 2004's Christmas Carol the Musical. And the winner of this one is Sir Alec Guinness. Yes, we have just, from all of these, they were great adaptations. I had to pick one, and Sir Alec Guinness was just right on. I really could remember exactly how he did it, everything that was a part of it. While part of the end wasn't exactly along the book, it still fit perfectly. So Sir Alec Guinness, you are our winner for Marley. Then we move on to the Best Adaptation of The Spirits. Yes, the choices we have for this one are 1951's Alastair Sims adaptation, 1971's animated adaptation, 1984's adaptation starring George C. Scott, 1999's adaptation starring Patrick Stewart, and 2004's Christmas Carol the Musical. And the winner of this one is 1984's starring George C. Scott. When I thought back on all these, all of them were quite memorable. I can remember a lot of what it was, but overall, you had to just look at those, especially the past and the present. The future kind of lost it a little bit. It would have been a clear-cut winner. The future's a little better. In fact, I think it was 11 out of 15 was the official score on that one. But overall, they did a great job with the dynamic and the chemistry with Scrooge and how it all worked and how they changed it. Just a brilliant job. And next we move on to probably the three biggest categories in this whole thing, starting with the best interpretation of Scrooge. This is what the story is all about. But before we get to the nominees, there is one person that needs a little bit of recognition, and that is Sir Seymour Hicks. While he is not top 5 when it comes to the movie, Sir Seymour Hicks was one of the first ones to play Scrooge and tour around London and England and really made this story popular amongst everybody. So I have to give a shout out to him. Even though you're not on our top 5, not part of our nominees, you still deserve some credit. So thank you, Sir Seymour, for getting this party started. But let's get right to the actual Scrooge nominations. First off, we have Alastair Sims from the 1951 adaptation. The next one up, we have 1984, starring George C. Scott. Then we get Michael Caine, who is in 1992's Muppet Christmas Carol. Patrick Stewart from 1999's A Christmas Carol. And Jim Carrey from 2009's A Christmas Carol. And the winner of this one is George C. Scott. I really had to choose between two of these because I know there's a lot of people that are on both sides of this fence. There's been a huge debate about which one of these is officially better. And just when I looked at them, George C. Scott, your interpretation was just unique. You followed the story just great. I enjoyed everything you did. Your little bits of, like sarcasm mixed with this. While Alastair Sims, you played it brilliantly, but you were very straightforward. And when it comes down to it, you weren't as memorable as George C. Scott was. But both of you would have deserved this award. I just had to give it to one. So congratulations, George C. Scott. Now we get to the final two, and we're going to start with the best children's adaptation. So from these, the top 5 ones on there were 1978's Stingiest Man in Town, 1983's Mickey's Christmas Carol, 1992's A Muppet Christmas Carol, 1994's Flintstones Christmas Carol, and 2009's A Christmas Carol starring Jim Carrey. This one I had to really think about, really had to look at it. Which one is both following the book, has a great interpretation, but also highly entertaining for kids? And the winner of this one is A Muppet Christmas Carol. Yes, it followed the book pretty much to a T, had a couple things had to take out, but with the dynamic of the Muppets through all of it and changing everything, it had to win. So the best children's adaptation, I know people are going to disagree with me because a lot of people like some of these other ones, and they're all great. They are all great adaptations, but for my pick, Muppet Christmas Carol on that one. And then we get to the best dramatic interpretation. Like I said, there has been a lot of debate about some of these, and the top 4 are all quite deserving of this award, but there can be only one. So the top nominees are Sir Seymour Hicks version from 1935, Reginald Owens version from 1938, Alastair Sims version from 1951, George C. Scott's version from 1984, and Patrick Stewart's version from 1999. And for this one, very close. I can make arguments for at least 4 of the 5 of these. The other one just happened to be at the top, and I talked about it a little bit before. But if I was to pick one interpretation that I wanted to see out of all of these that would both let me know the story, keep me entertained, and be just so amazing on that one, I would have to pick 1984's Christmas Carol starring George C. Scott. Yes, for my choice, I have to pick that one. For those of you that are on the Alastair Sims side, he has a great interpretation. I'm not saying any of these are bad. They are all really good. I would watch all of these again in a heartbeat. But if there has to be one. There has to be a winner. And for me, it is George C. Scott. So that is our award show, giving us all of these different interpretations. When we come back on the last episode, it'll be coming out on Christmas Eve. Make sure you catch it. It's me giving my personal interpretation of a lot of these things, giving you the essential Scrooge collection is what I'm going to be calling it, to where I give you, if you're trying to just do a basic Christmas Carol one, which ones you need to have and which ones you can kind of forego because they're a lot like others. But be sure you check that one out. If you like what you've seen, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this with everybody. God bless all of you. And that's a wrap.